So what are we doing?
Well, folks, we weren't quite sure. We weren't quite sure what we're going to be doing for topic until we noticed some signs out here.
Yeah, like today is 9/11, right? So we're walking around, and is this like the Capitol building, or what is it?
Sure.
Is Boise even the capital of Idaho? I assume so.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So we're walking around, and apparently there was like 9/11 remembrance, something going on. And we were sitting down brainstorming for video material, and then we saw like these signs.
We saw these signs over here.
Which are very interesting.
Temporary banner up at the top of the main
Little 9/11. 9/11 was an inside job. And what does the other sign say? Some other fun ones.
The other sign was abortion
right there.
stuff.
Yeah. I can't read with her.
The battlefield still on.
And then the other one was an abortion sign.
Yeah.
It was a equal rights for the preborn or something, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to get some more pictures of their signs if we can get them.
Yeah.
Maybe we could ask them if we could film their signs and just ask them about it, like why they're here.
They're randomly.
Do you want to do that?
Do we have to ask them to film their signs, or do we?
Well, no. I mean, so we can walk up and get good shots of it. Is what I mean.
We're just gonna walk up right now and get good shots of it.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
Well, I'm trying to be like
Polite about it?
Polite and stealthy, and if there's like cops, we're gonna get arrested, Chad.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm filming and I just noticed these signs here, and I just was wondering what group are you with, or?
Well, my husband's pro-life. That's his name is pro-life.
Okay.
And my name is Kirsten, and we run for office every 2 years. So whenever there's something going on, we go out there and try to choose the truth, but we believe it's true.
So you believe 9/11 was an inside job, though?
Yeah, I do.
You do, sir? Or are you with part of the same?
I'm friends with these folks.
When you say the battlefield still is on our soil, what battle would you think that is as it relates to military troops?
As it relates to dealing with our terrorists and trying to find them, what did we do the last 3 or 4 or 5 days in our country over there in the New York area? We were searching for terrorists, right?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what we have in our soil. That's what we need to deal with.
Okay.
Not get muddled down in the mountains of Afghanistan where we get killed and maimed and for what reason?
Okay. So you think the battlefield still is on our soil, is basically talking about how you believe there's terrorists in the U.S. that we need to.
That's where we're looking, aren't we?
And if 9/11's an inside job, then doesn't that mean though that the terrorists are like government officials?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I believe that they allowed the terrorists to do all the things they did. At least from books that I've read.
Okay.
They were aware when they first came to San Diego, the terrorists. They were aware they were there. They were interfering with their calls back. Okay, a lot of their cell phone calls. This is the NSA I'm talking about.
Okay.
According to this man who wrote this book that I thought was pretty interesting, and some other things I've read too. But he was saying that they knew about it, and that what's really funny is that these terrorists were staying at a guy's house who was an FBI guy, and the NSA never told him that they were terrorists.
Huh.
So they knew that they went to Florida. They knew they were learning how to fly jets. They knew this whole thing. I think they used the situation and planted explosives in those buildings, because I've never seen a building hit by, well, of course I've never seen a building hit by a jet, but anyway. But you know, I've watched, when they destroy a building on purpose, the implosion, they go straight down, just like that. All three of them, same thing. And it was not a jet that did that, sorry. And then the building didn't even get hit, straight down. I'm going, oh, okay, come on. This is too retarded. You can't believe it was just the terrorists. So anyway, plus a bunch of other stuff. I mean, they could go on. Anyway, yeah, I think it was an inside job. I think it was used like Pearl Harbor, same thing. I think that was too, to get us into the war.
Pearl Harbor was an inside job too?
Yeah, I think it was.
Do you? Why do
In
you?
other words, allowing it to happen.
Allowing it to happen. So I mean, they were sort of complicit. I mean, they were
complicit.
part of
The President of the
the.
United States, I think, was involved with that.
Why do you think the president would want that much harm to happen to other Americans?
Well, they want to get us into the war. That was part. The whole thing was to get us into that war.
Iraq.
Even if it costs the lives of
You think
innocent.
it matters to him? I really don't think it matters to him.
I guess, I mean, that comes down, that's ultimately the crucial question is, do we believe that American life matters to the president, or do we believe it doesn't? And if it does...
How about when they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and, you know, Nagasaki? You know, they could have, like my husband was telling me, why didn't they just say, hey, this island over here where nobody's living, we're gonna show you what we're gonna do to you if you don't, you know, surrender, right?
Right.
No, they had to go and kill a bunch of people. I
Right.
thought that was unconscionable.
True, but that's a little bit different situation, it seems to me, than actually taking the lives of innocent Americans working in...
Why does it matter who they are? I don't, you know.
Doesn't it matter?
You know, it's getting
Of course
to
it
be
matters. Doesn't matter who it is. If it's innocent life, we should not be
That's
doing
true,
it.
we shouldn't, I agree. But you believe then that yeah, the president is willing to take innocent human life
I don't. Yeah, I
of Americans.
It seems like it would make it
Yes.
really hard for the Republicans to get reelected if,
you
if something
think
like
so,
that
wouldn't
happens
it?
under your administration.
Yeah, you think so?
You know.
But I know I don't trust government at all.
Huh. But you're running for government office,
Yeah, I'm trying to teach the truth. That's basically my husband. That's why we run for office.
but you don't trust it.
No, don't.
So
No
you
way.
wanna-
I'm trying to make it smaller. There's no way. When you get a huge government, I'm sure.
Are you running as Republicans?
No, we're independent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I can't be a part of a corrupt party like that. There's no way.
Okay, interesting.
So just out of curiosity, so like for me, I mean, it makes sense, you know, if you're out here to do the protesting with the 9/11 inside job thing, given today's 9/11, and apparently there's some 9/11 thing going on here today.
Yeah.
But why does that cross over into like the abortion thing? Like just out of curiosity.
This is our friend here, Larry.
Right.
We want to hold the sign. No, because we're pro-life activists, so whenever we can get that message out, we do it. That's
Okay.
basically what it's for. It's not anything to do with it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
It just seemed out of place with all the other signs.
You know, of course, pro-life activists doesn't think it's nothing. We never think this is out of place anywhere. But you know,
I mean,
people do
just
something
with the
true.
theme.
Yeah, of course, it doesn't
why
go
it
with
seems
the
out of
theme of
place.
what we have here. That's true. But no, it kind of does. It kind of does because I believe that preborn children are people, and that we shouldn't be killing them. So unjust war is murder. Unjust killing of babies is murder. It goes along with it. It's not
Okay.
that much of a stretch.
Just curious, are you anti-death penalty too?
No, I'm not. Sounds
Okay.
funny, doesn't it? But I'm not anti-death penalty. I think in certain cases that, yeah.
Okay.
When it comes to pedophiles who are killing children, I'm not going to leave them in jail. Sorry, and take care of them in jail for the rest of their life. There are cases where it is a deterrent. I believe it is. To protect life of children, especially, I say no, you can't. You have to have that kind of punishment. I don't see any of those people getting over what they did as far as being able to go out in society again. They can't. It's not possible. Their mind is too corrupted. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I do believe in death penalty for certain cases.
Okay.
Do you ever feel like you might run the risk that an innocent person's life is going to be taken, though?
Well, you don't have to be cases where you know for sure the person did it. Obviously, you can't. There's been cases in Texas, I believe. I was watching this special one. Quite a few people have been executed for things that they have not done. And it's usually a case of a black man killing somebody, or you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And they got the wrong black man.
Good.
So yeah, I would not go for something that isn't for sure, you know.
But they
You
thought it was
just
for
know.
sure, too, though. I mean, how do you...
No, actually, when they
You
got
think-
into the cases,
Yeah.
a bunch of corrupt stuff going on there. It was not. It was not.
I wished I didn't have to hold this sign.
Yeah, it's a bit odd to hold it on 9/11, I must admit.
But you know something? If you go to architects and engineers for 9/11, they have a total expose of this. Those buildings did not come down like they did because of the airplanes. And Building 7 came down on its own. And,
Well, the penthouse went down the middle of it.
What?
You see the penthouse go down the middle of it.
No, the explanation by the 9/11 Commission, the government's investigators, that there was a fire on column 17 within that building, and that brought that whole building down just like a pancake, like a demolition. Because it was a demolition. Larry Silverstein, who owns that building, he even said, well, let's pull the building. And then he later said, I mean, let's pull all the people out of there because it's going to come down. You can go to architects and engineers for 9/11.
It just seems like this has been thoroughly refuted over and over again.
Well, hey, it hasn't. Why is there thousands of architects and engineers blasting people? I have a blasting license. I know that those buildings cannot come down like that.
Under no circumstance, you can't envision any explanation that might make more sense than it being an inside job.
This guy over here from New York, he's a New York policeman. He said the Japanese designers of those buildings, and I don't believe they were designed by Japanese architects, that if they get into a stress thing like that, the whole thing falls down. That's what he said. Oh, this guy right here in the blue shirt. But Japanese architects did not design the Trade Center, as far as I have ever heard. It was U.S. Designers and engineers. So that's a possibility, but then that doesn't explain Building 7.
You don't think that's more reasonable than thinking that the whole government was somehow complicit within some grand...
Who knows who put the explosives in there? I have no idea. How would I know that?
Well, you know that it was an inside job, so how do you...
Because I know that buildings don't fall like that.
Unless they were built to fall like that.
Yeah, but who's going to design a building so if it gets under stress in the upper third, the whole thing's going to go down in a few seconds? You don't do that.
Oh.
That's the first time I've ever heard an explanation like that. That's ridiculous. That should be exposed if that's the case. Right?
It doesn't seem as ridiculous, though, as believing that the whole government was somehow complicit within it.
Listen, you're assuming that I'm saying our government was complicit.
But isn't that what inside job means? What does inside job mean then, if it's not?
The inside job means that the explanation of the 9/11 Commission is not consistent with physics, engineering, blasting. It's totally inconsistent. If you go to 9/11, if you go to engineers, architects for 9/11, they show you, they put a bunch of questions to the government's agency about explaining how those buildings came down. The government's investigators do not answer the questions. Why don't they answer the questions?
And you're suggesting the reason why they don't is because it's an inside job.
Yeah, well, at least there's a cover-up of what happened. But as to who put the explosives in there, I don't know.
Are you inclined to think that the government put the explosives in there?
I don't really think so. All kinds of people have access to buildings.
So it's not that it was an inside job as much as the American people have been lied to then, because it doesn't. I mean, what you're explaining to me sounds more like
themselves.
Okay.
You don't have to have. If you have normal conscience and judgment, you can tell that those buildings did something pretty weird. Those buildings were hit at the 75th, in the upper floors, the upper third.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Idaho.
We're not native Idahoans, so.
Well,
I'm in town for the weekend. But buildings aren't built to, withstand something like that. And the type of fireproofing that they use in larger buildings, like the trade centers, is it's a spray fireproofing. And when you have fuels that burn at thousands of degrees or hundreds of degrees, I don't even remember the degree that the fuel burns in, and once the fire is out of control, that heat's going to burn up and that fireproofing's not going to do you any good. And steel does melt,
Yeah, I know, but steel from floors, from the 77th floor, 75th floor where those planes hit, it's not going to melt at the bottom and let the whole thing collapse.
Oh no, it doesn't have to melt at the bottom. Something like that collapses under its own weight.
It would have to work its way down.
Yeah, but things like that collapse under their own weight. I mean, if you have something several tons, it's going to pancake down.
Well, I can see all of the building materials could fall off of the beams off the structure, but those beams just they fell all over the place, in pieces too. And so I don't.
Something that big isn't going to stay entirely self-contained either.
No.
And if you think for things,
No, wait. The steel structure would remain.
at that high of temperatures.
Yeah, you go to architects and engineers. They talk about the temperatures, what temperatures it takes to melt those kind of 17-inch square steel beams. You really need to look at that. Okay. I'm just a farmer. I'm with a blasting license. I used to work in a coal mine, blow up stuff.
Do you feel like you're offending people that have come here to remember the lives lost on 9/11?
No, if they're offended, that's their problem. Because I honor the people that lost their lives on 9/11. I'm not dishonoring them at all.
So why
Maybe
you?
I have more honor for them because I'd like to see justice brought to the whole situation.
But do you feel as though they've come here to remember the lives lost and just have a calm sort of environment without having to have signs waved in front of their face?
Oh yeah.
I mean, do you think that like people who have lost family, friends, loved ones in that building really want to hear on this day of all days that it was an inside job?
No, they don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it.
Why this day though? Why not? I mean, why not save it for every other day except for this day?
I hold this sign quite often.
Okay, so why not choose to not hold it today, or hold a sign that says?
No, we could choose to do that, and I could choose. How are you guys related?
Well, we know each other. We know each other through the internet, through YouTube. So strangely enough.
Are you boyfriend and girlfriend?
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
No, we're not.
No.
Because you're both married, right?
No, we're not married.
No.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
We're YouTube friends. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I just happen to be here, so we're hanging out.
Yeah.
Well,
And then we saw your signs, and then we were like,
well,
oh wow.
that's Mrs.
So.
Pro-Life right there. That's my name, Pro-Life.
Yeah. Okay. She mentioned that to us.
Put this on you. Put that up there when you.
Your driver's license. Your name is really
Can I
pro-life.
see it? So
Well, let's cover up.
yeah, we'll cut that out.
Yeah,
So
I'll blur the
Nobody's
address.
going to steal my identity.
well, now we just don't want to put your address on the internet. So
It's all right.
You
can't find it.
really
Let's
don't want YouTube to find you. We're mail you.
His name really is pro-life, as you can
So,
see there.
Did you change your name?
This is a friend of Varioblast, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
There's a YouTuber who's changed his name a few times, except he changed his name to Fuck Censorship. What do you think about that change of name?
I think it's. If he said.
Yeah, his name is legally is that. That's his. That he changed it to
I
that.
think if he said the hell with censorship, it'd be. I don't like the F word. I think it's.
Yeah, he did do that though.
Yeah.
He did.